So Trent, I really don't know how to start this, but maybe this will work. What's up, Coach?
What's up? What's up?
How does that sound?
It sounds good. I've obviously, been a player, my whole life. And for people that don't know, I've coached, ever since I was young, coaching whether it was my team or my sister or my younger brother teams or, Tucson Turf, 7-on-7. So it's now it feels cool to, be called coach and doing my dream job.
We've always talked about this, but to like make it come to fruition, this was always the next step for you. But to have it happen, to have it at ASU, a place that spent so much to you and your family, what does it mean?
Yeah, it's a dream come true. Obviously, some people have, high aspirations to do, go to the next league or become a doctor. And for me, my calling has always been coaching, and not only so much just the X's and O's, but helping that next generation, these players, not only be great football players, but great human beings and great men, and trying to teach them the right things. And I've been blessed to have so many great coaches that have influenced my life, and it's definitely worked out for the best. And I'm just excited to, do whatever I can to be the best coach I can be.
All right, so how did this happen? How long has this been in the works for? Did you know it was coming, or was it just did you really have to like apply and go through all the process?
Yeah, for me, I would say out of high school, everybody would ask me, do you want to go to the NFL and what do you want to do or this and that? Do you want to play? Do you want to coach? Do you want to go, start your own business? And for me, it's always been coaching. Like I've always loved playing, don't get me wrong. But for me, just coaching has always been something that I've been very passionate for. And so, when I visited here my freshman year, they gave me the opportunity to walk on and they knew that I wanted to be a coach. And so they told me that, they think this would be a great fit here with the past staff, just knowing all the, connections that they have. And fast forward and to have, three head coaches and six different offensive coordinators and so many different, position coaches that have left and, taken other jobs, whether it's in the collegiate level or NFL or high school. So for me, it's just really, trying to, take it one day at a time and really just making sure that I, try to do the best I can with these relationships that I have. But yeah, when Coach Dillingham first got the job, I think my first meeting with him kind of, I kind of just told him, how his career has, how he was able to, fast track it, really just, at such a young age, he became the head coach at Arizona State. And, I told him, I hope to be someday, kind of, in that regime where I'm just, working my way up. And obviously, I think he's going to be here for a long time, hopefully. And I'd love to be here with him this whole time.
All right, so it's been what, 7 weeks removed? It's hard to believe. 6 weeks removed from the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
How did we get to this point? So end of Peach Bowl to now your job title. What has transpired?
Yeah, I definitely, had talks, obviously within the past few years, but obviously this past season, just talking about, okay, what's my next step looking like? And, talking to Coach Dillingham, throughout the season of, what it might look like. And, obviously, as we keep winning and winning and winning, I'm happy as can be. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to be that guy that's worried about, my future, but the team's winning, we're in the Big 12 championship. We win. We're studying for Texas. So, I'm not going to be that guy, but really, after the Texas game, it was kind of like, okay, like, when it was what's the coaches like what are we doing? And obviously had a meeting with Coach Dillingham, not too late after that, and kind of kept it under wraps. Just wanted to make sure everything was finalized, and seeing what coaches were here or took other jobs elsewhere. And yeah, I would say really, I've been in the office probably the last month or so, and working with Coach Aguano has been awesome. And really, it was up to Coach Dillingham what room he put me in, whether it was offense, defense, as long as I was able to find a position to help the team and learn under these great coaches that we have, I was excited to get started.
So how did you land on assistant running backs coach? How'd you land on that?
Yeah, I think, Coach Dillingham asked me at first, are there any rooms specifically that I'd, love to work under? And for me, I told him, obviously I'd love to stay with the offensive side. Me being a quarterback, everybody thinks quarterback would be the best fit. But, I think for me, just growing my football, knowledge and, portfolio, I think would be very beneficial to go into another room, whether it was, the tight ends with Coach Mons, who, is a legend here in Arizona with what he did at Saguaro. And I've, followed his whole career, growing up and being from Tucson. So I knew about him. And then obviously you have another legend in Coach Aguano who, for me, him and I have been together through, the last 6, 7 years. His first year in 2019 was my first year, and obviously he was the interim head coach when I first, took over. It was the starter, so it's just crazy how
And when y'all beat
God's
Washington, don't
that's
sell
right.
yourself short
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that, man. We
yeah,
remember that game.
yeah, we beat Washington and just, trusting God's plan. And just like I said, I've been saying it my whole, playing career, but coaching career as well. And even past, whatever I do when I'm done coaching. But yeah, no, I'm super, super blessed to be be working under Coach Aguano and to learn everything that he does as a running back coach, and try to bring in some new knowledge, to the running backs, from a quarterback's perspective of what I see. And it's been a blast just hearing Coach Aguano talk about protections and run game and pass game. It's been a lot of fun to sit in on these meetings.
So when you got the job, what were the first words Coach Iguano told you? It's really cool, kind of y'all's journey and what y'all accomplished together, and how long you two have been together. And then what did Kenny tell you? Like, hey, shake your hand, congratulations. Then like, what are some of the first words that he tells you?
Yeah, I mean, I would really just say, throughout this whole year, I had, coaches ask me like, what are you planning on doing this next season? And, I would tell them, I don't know what the plan is. Obviously I'd love to stay here at Arizona State, but in this coaching world, you just never know what's gonna, be offered to you. And obviously I've been blessed to have, some relationships with other coaches at other universities. But like I've said, my whole playing career here, Arizona is home to me. Arizona State is my new home, and obviously I'd love to be able to stay here. And I've been saying, this is an empire waiting to be built, and I think we've laid the foundation here the last 2 years, and obviously last year was a huge stepping stone. But our coordinators both stayed here, and I mean it's the place to be. So for me, talking to Coach Aguano throughout the season about possibly working with him in the offseason and heading into the next season was super exciting. And met with Coach Dillingham, 5-10 minutes, and just this is what he expects me to do, and talking to Coach Aguano, and just super exciting. He announced it in the team room a couple weeks ago, and just to see the guys, they had no idea. Obviously they knew I wanted to coach, but to be able to be hired and to be, staying in the building, and without even saying anything, Coach Dillingham pretty much spoke on my behalf, and just to see guys, like Sam, stand up and go crazy, and Watley and Clayton, those guys that have seen me the last couple of years. I feel like I've kind of already transitioned into being a coach previously. This past season, obviously I wasn't playing much, but trying to do whatever I could, helping with reads offensively, defensively, and to officially, have that title coach, it's definitely a dream come true.
What did that mean to you to have your team? That this team, Trenton, and you've been a part of teams that probably haven't been this close, but what you guys were last year was pretty special. And but to see the team react, I feel like they did that for a lot of people. Like when someone else had a lot of success, somebody would go crazy, the bench would go crazy, guys would go crazy. But for them to react that way for your next job in life, position in life, what that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just speaks a lot to what Coach Dillingham's built here. It's all about family, and obviously we have some coaches coming in that maybe weren't a part of the family last year, and now they're in the Sun Devil family. But to be able to stick here with my brothers, and obviously all these coaches here, and just create those memories, and to continue to create those. But for me, I was put on scholarship, during the COVID era, so when I was put on, it was kind of like this, it was through Zoom, which I'm super blessed and grateful for. But I always just kind of wish I had my teammates around me to celebrate that with. But obviously to be announced like this, I feel like it was making up for it. And like I said, it's just crazy how everything works, with God. But just continue to pray. Didn't know what the end of the season was going to look like after this year, or what my future looked like, but just continue to pray each and every day. And obviously, I'm super grateful for Coach Dillingham for giving me the opportunity to work here at Arizona State and continue to just use my platform to the best ability I can.
So what do guys call you now? They call you
Yeah,
coach?
yeah, sometimes, even Coach Dillingham, will call me, T or Trent, and guys, hey, Coach, that's Coach now, that's Coach. So Ben Coleman, is big on calling me Coach TV or Coach Bourguet, Coach T. So it's definitely we're not TV 16 anymore, which I'm sure that I'll still get called that. But yeah, no, Coach TV, Coach Bourguet, and it's just it's been a lot of fun, transitioning to this last month or 2 months or whatever it's been so far. But it's been a lot, and just taking it all in one day at a time, and super excited to be working with such a great staff.
All right, so Coach TB, Coach Bourget, feel like you start at the bottom of the totem pole, right? So what are some what are your jobs? What are some of the things you have to do as a coach just starting out?
Yeah, right now I'm just a sponge for everybody. Whoever's in the building, I'm learning about what all the coaches do. When they're working out, what's the best thing? Is it better to work out in the morning? Is it best to work out during lunch, after work? Trying to do whatever I can. Whether it's just learning how to use the copy machine, and doing papers, and making cut ups and watching film and breaking down film. So for me, obviously the fun part for me is football, but right now I'm enjoying it. I'm talking to people. I'm asking the coach. I'm like, so is this day like fast to you? Because right now I feel like the days are just going by so fast, but I'm just super excited. It's been fun. I'm waking up and, coaches are asking me, do you miss, watching them push sleds and run? And I'm like, no, I don't. I feel like I've been doing it forever, the last 6 years, but, it's still fun to be around the team and be around the coaches, just obviously in a different position. But no, I'm super excited, once spring ball starts to actually, get out there and start coaching some ball, but I'm just taking it one day at a time and not taking it for granted.
But what type of coach are you going to be, Trenton? Like, you got the clipboard behind you? Do you keep it on the side? Like, you hold a piece of paper, you whistle? Are you blowing the whistle a lot? What type of coach are you going to be?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, I've been coaching. Pretty much my whole life, like I've already said. So, the way I played football, I kind of, coach the same way. I'm somebody that's, never said a curse word in his life, but I'm able to, have that power to try to, get on you. But I think Coach Dillingham does a great job, and all our coaches have different coaching styles. And for me, I'm going to continue to be the same person I am. I'm going to try, try to lead the best way I can and do whatever I can to help Coach Iguana with those running backs. Obviously, he's done a great job the, last 6 years. I think he, has 4 or 5, running backs in the past already go to the league. With Scat, being another one. So we're excited for this running back room. We're excited for this team and continue to just compete each and every day and be better than we were the previous day.
Trenton, how much did your job kind of be in the backup quarterback? And like, that's someone who's like, you're the eyes and ears for like a guy like Sam last year. It's your job to kind of maybe see some things that he doesn't see. Like, how much did that help you really prepare and like watching the game like that, for this kind of role that you're in? Because it's almost like you got to be Coach Iguano's like eyes and ears too as well and see things that maybe he doesn't see.
Yeah, I think that's kind of just what I've always done my whole life. When you see me on the sideline, whether I'm playing or not playing, I like to be, far away from everybody. I kind of like to stand away. If the offense is down at the 25, I like to be at the opposite 25. I want to see a clear view of the play. And, obviously this year having the player coach communication, I'm able to hear the play, so I don't got to, look for signals or anything like that. But being able to hear the play and I'm kind of going through the play call, as if I am back there as the quarterback. So, for me, there were times where I would pick up things on the opposing team's defense or the offense and, try to tell Dillingham, Texas Tech does a lot of RPO and sometimes the linemen were downfield, but they weren't calling it. So, trying to just, hey, Coach Dilly, like, I don't know if you want to, tell this ref right here, but he's kind of downfield. I remember, Mr. Danny White, he's on the sideline with us and he saw me tell Dillingham that. And Coach Dillingham ended up telling the ref the very next play they did the RPO 20-yard completion, but there was a flag lineman downfield, and Coach Mr. White just looks at me and points at me, and I've never seen an active player tell their head coach something they see in the game. So for me, it's just something that I've always been excited to do. But obviously having a bigger voice now, being on staff, definitely I'm excited to help out in any way I can. So I'm just looking forward to those game day atmospheres and getting some more W's in Mount America Stadium.
You get to start your career now. So real quick, are you like first in the building? Can anybody beat Kenny in the building?
I mean, he's in. I feel like he never leaves. I know he has to. With his wife and kid. But I mean, it's there's definitely a lot of people that get there early. Coach Joe's in there. Early as can be, knocking out his workout. But definitely, trying to get there at a good time. But just for me, it's waking up and thinking, okay, I'm not lifting. With the team, I'm not doing this and that. But just trying to still have that player mindset of having a routine of getting in at the same time each and every day and getting a good breakfast and this and that. But it's been a lot of fun just to see the other sides of this coaching world, but it's been something I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Would you consider yourself like an X's and O's football nerd? Like the scheming and the game planning is out scheming someone is just as fun as maybe throwing a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're the player, I feel like you're playing chess, and if you're a really good player, then you're playing chess. What I meant to say is when you're a player, you're playing checkers, but really good players, they play chess, they can make audibles, and as the coach, you're the one that's moving all the pieces around. So for me, it's really just I've always enjoyed being able to call the X's and O's, and learning these run schemes with Coach Saga and the past game with Coach Arroyo, and we just have such a great staff that a lot of our guys on the offensive side they've called plays before. So hearing their tendencies and their thoughts, having a defensive analyst, like Coach Gibbs, from a defensive perspective, he breaks it down. So it's just so fun to have so many people to bounce ideas off of and put it up there on the whiteboard and see what works best.
Get you out here on this, now that kind of everything is settled, you got a new role. People have noticed you changed your Twitter bio, which is pretty cool to see. Have you gotten over what happened in the Peach Bowl? Have you moved on, or what are the emotions still, 6, 7, 8 weeks removed?
Yeah, for me, I don't think you'll ever kind of be able to fully move on. Obviously, it's always gonna sting. But like I said, and like I always said, is we were super grateful for the season that we had, and it's definitely something that I'm never gonna forget, and hopefully my teammates and coaches never forget because I mean going into that season, I mean nobody talked about us. People in our home state in our home building maybe didn't even think we could do that, but we just continued to push each other each and every day, and like Coach Dillingham said, we were trying to be the best team and be successful each and every day, not looking past week 3, week 4. Even got to the Big 12 championship. It was just one game at a time, and hopefully, we can learn on that and build on it for the future, and make those next strides. But for us to to make that big of a jump in Coach Dillingham's second year, I'm excited for year 3 and for all those years, even farther down the road. But for right now, it's February 20th or 21st. That's what we're looking forward to. One day at a time, getting ready for spring ball, getting ready for summer camp, and we'll get at it one day at a time.
So what do you want to be called? Coach TB, Coach Bourguet? Does it, have you
Yeah.
picked, set on the name yet?
I mean, I think I would say probably Coach TB. I feel like it's just a little bit shorter, but I mean, Coach Bourguet. But when I hear Coach Bourguet, I think about my dad. Yeah, I'm like, is he somewhere? You talking to me? Yeah, Coach TB, but my dad's also, his name's Toby. So, I mean, we get called it all, but really just, Coach. Yeah, it's definitely going to be weird, TB 16 or 16, but I'm super, super excited for this opportunity. And, I'm excited to work my butt off for Sun Devil Nation.